Greetings again, Rock O'Connor. I want to talk about another vocation that I perceive as a vocation within a vocation. That's writing and blogging. If you would have asked me 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, I would have said, I don't know what to write. I'm not a good writer. Yeah, that's another story. I'm not that good a writer.
To begin, how to start. I'm hungry. I should get coffee. Coffee would help me think.
By the time I went to the Catholic University of America in July, August of 1999, my purpose there was to study liturgy, do a master's in liturgical studies. I was getting a sense that I might have something to say. And here's the part about study. I worked my tail off, about 80 hours a week, reading, studying, writing papers and stuff. And I learned a ton about liturgy in a way that said it's completely personal. So the action, the Mass is the liturgy is the action of Christ and the Church. That opened up for me a way of understanding liturgy that took it out of the whatever realm was going on in my brain about, I'm just up here doing my thing, what's wrong with this? But saying the relationship that I can establish as a presider with the people of God, in the Spirit, with the Son, toward the Father, means everything. And as I was reading and learning about stuff, so Mark Searle, tremendous article he wrote, just changed my way of looking at a lot of stuff. Bob Taft, thank you, Robert. You're a grand man. Thank you very much. Helped me get a new picture of liturgical presence to Christ, with Christ. And it was the personal search inside through more suffering and whatnot was about how the question became, how do I develop more the capacity to receive what's being given, to engage what's being given. And that very thing changed the way I look at liturgy and about teaching about liturgy. It's not just saying, here's what the liturgy is, it does, and all this stuff. And, here's where God is, and here's where the four presences of Christ and whatnot. It's about saying, how can I grow in the personal capacity to be engaged and to engage the Trinity in the liturgical prayer of the Church with the people of God?
The Jean-Luc Picard you wanted to be, the one who did not fight the Nausicaan, had quite a different career from the one you remember. That Picard never had a brush with death, never came face to face with his own mortality, never realized how fragile life is or how important each moment must be. So his life never came into focus. He drifted through much of his career.
So that's what my studies at Catholic U, Mary Margaret Kelleher, Kevin Irwin, David Power, such fine professors. I learned a ton there. And have taken that, I believe, and made a bunch my own. So after when I went there, I turned 50 years old. And it was after that when I started teaching sacraments and Eucharist at Creighton University for 11 years that I started making it a little bit more my own and started saying, I want to put some of this stuff down on paper. So I wrote and wrote and wrote, and thousands of words, and finally took it to an editor who went, oh my, you're going to have to organize this. I mean, it was like, it wasn't quite the history of the Roman Empire, but it was close to that. And little by little by little, I found something significant to write about. I should have brought my book. I'll post that somewhere. In the midst of our storms, it's about encountering Christ by attending to our resistance to Christ. How about that? And not just being and not just pretending that I'm, so holy and so everything is about you, oh God. Oh yeah, well, not so much. Still learning on that one. But the deal is, that was a huge surprise to me to enter into the more specific writing of that book, and then to go from that to a blog and post homilies and stuff. And now I've got a second book out that hopefully will be out the fall here in 2017, a study of Bartimaeus in Mark's gospel. It's a study of the whole gospel, but about the mystery of blindness and how, along with the scribes, the Pharisees, and the 12 and the disciples, were all blind. Something like that. And it feels like to me, I've been given a lot in studying Scripture, in studying some philosophy, restudying it, some more theology. Sebastian Moore's book, The Crucified Jesus is No Stranger, Ernest Becker's book, Denial of Death. Two powerful instruments that are working in my awareness a lot. Guys in confession are saying, here, read this. Oh, what is it? Oh, it's the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. Oh, yeah? Oh, wow. Powerful stuff. Ignatian spirituality. All of those things are coming together. It feels like, you be the judge, but it feels like to me anyway, that it has been, these gifts have been given, and I could do the best I can to make them available to others. So it's still a vehicle for my own self-aggrandizement. That's a given. But at the same time, I'm learning to surrender that into the hands of a God who does more for me than I can do for myself. So that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Thank you.
You just don't get it, do you, Jean-Luc? The trial never ends. We wanted to see if you had the ability to expand your mind and your horizons. And for one brief moment, you did.
When I realized the paradox.
Exactly. For that one fraction of a second, you were open to options you had never considered. That is the exploration that awaits you. Not mapping stars and studying nebula, but charting the unknown possibilities of existence.
Q, what is it that you're trying to tell me?
You'll find out.